Hey everyone, how are you doing? It's Iodine Chamberlain with the Living Connection, or the Living Connection with Iodine Chamberlain, and this is my video wishing you a Happy New Year, but it's a little bit different today because this is sort of a mini book review. I've been reading this fabulous book called The Iodine Crisis, What You Don't Know About Iodine Can Wreck Your Life, and it's by Lynne Farrow, who is a breast cancer survivor. A native of the New York metropolitan area, New York, New Jersey area, with a foreword by Dr. David Brownstein, MD. And I wanted to bring this book to your attention, if you haven't heard about it already, because in our journey for health and in our journey for weight loss, iodine is actually a really essential nutrient because it helps the cells metabolize. It helps the metabolism do its job. And without it, we have many health crises that remain mysterious or could remain mysterious to our primary caregiver. So briefly, Lynne suffered from a variety of different ailments, mysterious in nature, that finally culminated in her diagnosis of breast cancer. Brain fog, extreme fatigue, weight loss. She explains at one point in this book that she used to have to sort of play the game of being a healthy person, and she would arrange her work life around sleep, that she used to come home at 6 o'clock at night and sleep, that her family used to call her Rip Van Winkle. One thing I'll say about Lynne is that she's got a great sense of humor, which really makes it possible to take a lot of the information in this book, and there is a lot of information in here. She has helped set up a website called breastcancerchoices.org, and there are a couple of other ones in here. I think one's called the Iodine Cure Zone, if I'm not mistaken. And what's most revealing is that she, being a journalist, being trained as a journalist, she actually tracks the history of iodine being used to treat so many ailments. It was really quite a popular cure-all from the 1800s until about the 1940s, and then iodine began to be demonized and actually actively removed from our food supply, and in its place something called bromine. Now you may recognize the word bromine if you're a label reader and you're reading baked goods or loaves of bread as you go to the supermarket. You'll notice that usually right after the flour and the sugar, there's another ingredient called bromine, which is touted as being a flour, how shall I say, sort of texturizer, But the fact of the matter is that bromine, as it turns out, happens to be a neurotoxin. And it is today found in so many things like our rugs, our clothing, fire retardants, chemical sprays, pesticides, again, our baked goods. And the symptoms that a reaction to bromine are, some of them are, and the concomitant chasing of iodine from our organism is the inability to lose weight. Just no matter how much you diet and how much you try and change your lifestyle, those pounds just don't go. Or fibromyalgia, or brain fog, or low testosterone, or diabetic like symptoms, lack of energy, chronic fatigue, prostate issues for gentlemen, and of course breast cancer, even GERD, G-E-R-D, many, many, many things. So what's the relationship, as she points out, between iodine and breast cancer, for example? Well, it turns out that the breast tissue, require a lot more iodine than the rest of the body. In other words, the human organism is fascinating. So when you analyze like the eyeballs, for example, the eyeballs, they actually require like a very high amount of lutein because that's what makes the eyeballs tick. That's what helps keep the eyeballs on the up and up. for example. So the breasts are one area that require a high concentration of iodine because the mammary gland produces milk. It's a gland, after all, ladies and gentlemen. So when a woman is breastfeeding, those ducts have to be clear in order for the milk to come through, for the baby to get the proper nourishment. And of course, the child also requires a sufficient amount of iodine in those early stages of life because that helps the brain develop. That helps the child develop properly in terms of brain cognition. So this is just one of the many fascinating things that she pointed out in this book. I highly recommend it. I'm not going to go on and on about it too much. I don't want to make this too long, but some of the things that you might also want to look out for in terms of your reset program, Destination Transformation. Of course, I've encouraged all of you to get rid of the sodas and get rid of those double stuffed Oreos, get rid of those things, and clean them out of your cabinet. One of the drinks today that are very popular, for example, is Mountain Dew. But as it turns out, Mountain Dew also has bromine in it. It would appear on the label as BVO, so that's sort of an initialization or an acronization of the bromine that is used in that, kind of in a liquidized, form. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. I wish you a very happy new year. That's the book review for The Iodine Crisis by Lynne Farrow. Patient-to-patient testimonials in here. Very, very powerful. People that managed to turn their life around by following a very simple protocol that is also found in the book. There is tons of resources. There is hope. There's a lot of humor, and it's not expensive. You can order it from your Barnes & Noble. You can also order it on Amazon.com. This book the copy that I've got here, 254 pages, including an extensive index and glossary, etc. It was only $19, and that included shipping. So that's our book review for this year. Again, please like my channel, share this information. Join me on Facebook, get into the conversation, and still open for enrolling you in the Reset program. Again, it started January 6th, but it's rolling out all the way till March 30th. So it's definitely not too late to change your life and take control of your health and improve your health this year in 2014 and making it the best ever. Bye-bye now. Until next time.